New Wave discount tee, buy stuff tease, Evercade Alpha reveal, and Arcade 1-Up stupidity. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Another episode of This Week, the show where we talk about what happened this week in home arcades, episode 146, getting ever so closer to that 150. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here and hanging out with me on this Sunday evening. It's bright here. The sun is still up. Luckily, I got the blackout curtains over here in the corner. But yeah, it's still kind of weird getting used to this summer time change, the extended days. But I'm having a good time, enjoying myself. Very, very busy the last few days. If you follow me on Instagram, if you follow me, if you've watched the channel, if you watch the community posts at all, you know that I picked up a pretty sweet arcade, working on that right now. Gutted it today, just blowing the whole thing apart, working on it. An original arcade, not one of these arcade one-ups. That video is going to be coming together, probably going to drop that on Tuesday. So check that out if you're more interested in just about the overall trip. It's like a vlog style. I have a lot of fun with it. Get to meet some cool people, pick up some awesome cabinets. This time, I almost died. But spoiler alert, I didn't actually die because I'm here talking to you. What are we drinking tonight, everybody? Tonight, I am drinking, I just cracked open a brand new bottle, and there's something great about that feeling. Basil Hayden Toast. It's another bottle. We finished up Jefferson's last week, so we are opening up this new bottle of Basil Hayden Toast. Toast specifically, just the Basil Hayden is good, but the toast is my favorite for sure. It's toast of the town. So everybody, drink up. Congratulations on making it through another week. Let's talk about what happened this week. Delicious. So we talked about what I'm drinking. Let's talk about the same thing we talk about every week, which is the poll question. We have a poll in the chat. Jump on over to the chat, the live chat, and you can see we have a poll question. I gave you some options this week. The question is simply this: which Evercade Alpha will you pre-order? You got four options: Street Fighter, Mega Man. Number 3 is I'm interested, but I'm waiting. And number 4 is I'm not interested. I'm really, really curious how this is all going to shake out. So jump up there. Let your voice be heard. Vote in the poll. I really want to make sure I added the not interested as one of the options, because I want to get I'm checking the temperature, because I think a lot of people were kind of burnt out on some of the arcade one-up countercades. Is there enough here with this new Evercade Alpha to get you interested in that form factor again? So jump up there and vote. Let me know. It's wow, it's incredibly split. Okay, 46 votes so far. I can't wait to see how that shakes out. This is going to be a lot of fun. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. Everybody else, strap in. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Well, maybe not quite as bumpy as last week. Last week, we tried to fit a lot of stuff in, making up for lost time. We're not going to do that tonight. We're going to pace ourselves. We're going to have a few drinks. We're going to speak back and forth amongst each other, and we're going to start doing that right now with the top 10, the first 10 comments in the comment section. Scroll on up here. The show gets posted early in the day, and I get to see, listen, who's going to be the first 10 to comment. Let's go and jump up here with the number one for today, and it is Angelo P. Thank you so much for being the number one comment, 10:35 a.m. Setting records. Good to see you, man. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Fox and Chad. I hope everyone enjoyed this weekend. Who do we think will be the first company to announce a new arcade game and cabinet for the remainder of the year? And also he follows that up with saying, oh, and I forgot to mention, I'm first. You are first. Who's going to be the first company? I guess you're talking about 3/4. It's kind of funny how everybody's gun shy. These companies that we thought, and I did a video, well, I guess it was last week. I talked about the calm before the storm. You know, we were going to have these companies come out swinging. They haven't. None of them really have. They've dipped their toes in the water. You know, they've shot a spit wad, but they haven't come out swinging, really starting to fight. Nobody's really jumping in with both feet in the 3/4 scale or bigger market. I mean, Arcade 1-Up kind of owns that space, which is sad given the, lack of effort they've been putting in recently. So who's to say, man? I kind of thought that maybe New Wave was going to really jump in there and get it. They seem to be the biggest of the remainder. Can't leave that games out of the equation, but they definitely are multi-cade focused. They're not so much arcade recreations at all. Dedicated cabinets. That's just not what they do. New Wave was my best bet. Evercade was a long shot. We see that didn't pan out. So your guess is really as good as mine. Maybe, just maybe, we can hold out hope for the one-upper. Thank you so much for being here. Coming in the number 2 slot, the coveted number 2 slot, is Game Broker 84. Thank you so much for being here. Happy Sunday, Fox. Can't wait for another show tonight. Will you be pre-ordering the Evercade Alpha? If I had to choose one, I would probably pick the Street Fighter one. Thoughts will be coming in later in the show. But you're not going to be surprised by my answer. So I'll tell you a little bit later in the show for sure. Darth Penguin 66 coming in the number 3 spot. Thank you so much for being here and commenting so early. Well, I ordered X-Men 97 Cab 2 after seeing your review. I couldn't help myself. Listen, it happens. And listen, if I contributed in any way to you purchasing that cabinet, well, okay, I'll take it. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have a lot of fun with it. Given some very specific caveats, it's a pretty fun cabinet. I'll give it to A1Up. I've been giving him a hard time lately, but that cabinet is a win. I think it's really a win if you like the show. If you don't like the show, it's kind of a pain because that's the majority. Well, that's all of the art on that cabinet for sure. But hey, I'm glad to be helping you. Spend more money on crap you don't need. It's what I do. It's what I'm here for. Coming in the number 4 spot, my good buddy Bob. How the hell are you, man? Great to see you. Happy Fox time all. After taking your advice on X-Men 97, I'm badgering the wife for the cab. After refinishing the basement, I want to brain transfer Konami into that cab. That show surprised me. It absolutely did. And I know exactly where your head's at. It was a good show. I mean, I was surprised it was a good show. And if you want to be critical of Disney and Arcade 1-Up and everybody, that's fine. You have every right to do that. But when they do something well, if you want to, sort of maintain your own credibility, you got to give them their props. You got to give them their credit where credit is due. And I think that they did a good job on that. So that's a win for them. And if at the end of the day, it's kind of a win for us too. We get to enjoy some sweet artwork for sure. Coming in the number 5 spot is Wars. W the third is here. Arcade 1-Up isn't clueless. They just gave up. That's not a bad synopsis. That's not a bad diagnosis. Did they just give up? Are they just dumb? Are they just stupid? Is it all over? Or, well, I guess, are they stupid and they're just doing things that just don't make any sense? Or did they just give up and they're just going to ride this thing out? I think each one is just as valid. And it's sad to see all that potential wasted. But one thing that they can definitely redeem some of that disappointment is a super chat. This one is $5 coming in from my buddy, Kevin Clausen. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat, brother. Really do appreciate it. This week, I have 3 murder cases where I am the prime suspect, but I'm concerned about you. Riding in a car with teens is like saying, send me to the pit. Well, congratulations. You've come to the right place. If anybody's going to send you to the pit, it's going to be this guy right here. Away you go.
Finish him. Melina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Coming in the number 7 spot is Arcade Dave. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Fox and Chad. Hope everyone has had a good weekend. I have resisted all FOMO this week, but seems to be getting harder and harder. Looking forward to the conversation and excuse to drink. Well, of course. I mean, come on. I mean, with that being said, typical apps. Yeah. Definitely good. Good time to drink. It's a summertime, man. It's the summertime. It's just another excuse to drink, of course. It is what it is. Coming in the number 8 spot is Frank D. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. Trying a new brand tonight. 10 Cup Whiskey. I've heard good things about it. I think I've tried it, but I can't remember. That's not to say that it was so bad that I just forgot. I think if it was bad, I would have remembered. I think if it was phenomenal, I would have remembered. I know I've seen it before. I can't remember if I've had it or not, but I may have to give it a shot now. Let me know what you think about it. Tell me in the comments if it's any good, if it's even worth buying. Coming in the number 9 spot, we got Show Gecko. Hey, Fox, Miller Lite, great taste, less filling. Can't wait for the show tonight. Thank you so much for being here. And the coveted number 10, the final spot, it is Sir Sega. Yo, Fox, what? No Unico news? I thought this was a Unico channel. Well, yeah, when they got something to say, I'll be one of the first ones to tell you all about it because, bit of a Unico fan here. Coming in the number 11 spot was Dave, who thought he was 10th, unless I miscounted, which is possible. I'm not a smart man, but I do know what love is. And video games, too. Everybody else is in the house. We got JJ here. We got Gotham City Arcade, always stopping by, loving having all of y'all kids here. Jason Little Alien, of course. James, doesn't hate. Don't let the name fool you. The guy does not hate everything. Just most things. Vic is here. Calvin is here. Buy stuff. The guys, the men of the hour, the men of mystery, the mystery men are here. We're going to go over another picture tonight of another blanket. It's going to be really cool. we got Jim the Pacer fan. Good to see you, man. I think I've seen you a little bit. Good to see you, man. Always glad to see. I want to scroll through and see everybody. Stock Jock is here. Chris is here. We got Naza Palooza. What is going on? When will Unico get the new boards to fix the old monitors? Man, as soon as they have them, as soon as I know, I'll let you know, because I got a monitor that has to be fixed. It has to be corrected. Absolutely. Hey, Tammy G is here. It's pouring rain here. No sun for us today. Oh, that sucks. That's garbage. Big B73. Yo. Got TK Magic Shop. The Magic Man is here. Toxin is here. MSU Rich is in the house. Brooklyn Menace. The number one Evercade fan. I saw that shout out you got on Super Gamer Dudes, man. It was awesome. Congratulations. Hopefully they can give you snag you a cool interview with some of the people there at Evercade, because that's a cool company. That's an up and coming company for sure. Okay, so boom, hit that over here. We talked about the drink. We said hi to some of y'all. We talked about the poll question. Remember, vote in the poll. I want to know how many in my audience are even excited about this thing in any way, shape, or form. And if you are, what are you going to buy? Jump up there, vote. Let me know how you feel. Let me know what you're thinking. And okay, so with that all being said, let's go ahead and let's slide into the first topic. Let me click the right button. Hey, there it is right there. Buttons are all close together. Make sure you hit the right one. Okay, so let's talk about Discount Tea. Talk about a little bit of a confusing time with New Wave Toys. So New Wave Toys hit us with a big item. It was a bundle. It was the fabled, the mystery collaboration with GRS, and it was a, their typical 1/6 scale cabinet coupled with a controller, and that of course was Golden Tea. Who thought we would be sick of Golden Tea at this point? But it's actually worse. Well, it's not worse. Nothing's worse than Pac-Man, but it's giving Pac-Man a run for its money. And so we saw the sticker shock of the bundle and how much that cost. And then we saw the sticker shock of the actual individual 1/6 scale Golden Tea. That was kind of rough. I was like, dang, that's a little bit higher than what we're used to. But then just a few days, yesterday or the day before, I think they came out with, they introduced us to the standard edition, which is much more in line with what we paid, for their stuff back in the past. And this was kind of reassuring. Bit of a sticker shock, obviously, with the other stuff. This falls right in line. Now, what do I mean by fall right in line? Well, the sticker price of $199 is a little bit higher. $179, I think, is where these always started out. But if you look at the very bottom of the slide, you can still use the Golden 35 coupon code and snag this bad boy for $160, which is very reasonable when you consider the quality of their products and what they get. And this is obviously the standard. You're not going to get that digital DMD marquee above the lit marquee like you do on the other one. That topper is not the DMD topper is not included. Do you really care about that? Is it worth the extra money? That's going to really be up to you. But for me, considering my other cabinets, I think the standard version would fit in better with everything else. But if you wanted something to stand out, maybe you wanted to go ahead and grab that other version with the DMD and all that. But $199 is going to be, if you don't get in on the pre-order, which I recommend if you're going to do this, go ahead and get in on the pre-order and save some money. Save $40 if you go ahead and use the coupon code. That's not bad. And then let's go ahead and take a look at the total line of Golden Tees. There's a lot of Golden Tees going on from New Wave Toys. And here is the prices. If you use the coupon code right now, these prices will obviously change once the time period is over for the actual pre-order itself. And you're looking at $160 for the standard version, much more in line with what we paid for the other, their countercades, or not countercades, but replicades in our collections. $200 for the one with the digital DMD. Kind of a big jump to $40. And then, of course, the whopping $320 for the bundle. Now, this, of course, is if you use the coupon code. Everything goes up. I think this skyrockets to $399 for the bundle after the pre-order time has expired. And what I got to say about all this is you should have led with this. I mean, you really, I don't know, and this is something we got to talk about. I don't know why they didn't lead with this. You start with this. You start with the reasonably priced version. I say reasonably priced in air quotes because it's, depending on what you consider reasonably priced. This is what they've charged basically for all the other replicates, and it made sense. If you're used to this, if you're comfortable with this, then this is what you're used to paying. But why didn't you lead with this? Why didn't you lead with it? So it was this never going to be an option? And these are the things we got to consider. Is this a reaction to the high price? I think we got to consider that. They come out, they talk about, oh, this is going to have the digital DMD on top and all this, and it's $200, if you use a coupon code for just to get started, just to get your foot in the door. It's $250 regularly, right? It's really expensive. Or $399. I mean, that's a lot of sticker shock. So is this version simply a reaction to that, or was this always going to be the case? And if it was always going to be the case, so why the hell didn't you lead with this? Honestly, start with this. Start with the base version, the base model, and then maybe not in the same announcement. Maybe you can announce in a different announcement. You can talk about the different bundles, the different versions, and talking about the GRS control panel and all that. But it seems like you really, really, really should have led with this. Now, I don't know if people are going to be turned off because of the sticker shock of the bundle and the other version, that they're not even going to be now interested in this at all. I don't necessarily know that that's the case. It might be the case for some, but I think if you're excited about New Wave toys, if you like Golden Tee, and if you were kind of, bummed that the sticker shock was just, the price was so high, and if you waited, I think you're probably going to be happy with this, because like I said, I think this falls in line, much more in line with not just the pricing, but the overall size and scope of what these replicades really are. So it just depends, right? But is this a reaction, or is this the way that it was always going to go? I don't really know. I tend to think this is kind of a reaction, because why would you not lead with this? Why wouldn't you start out with the $160 normal version? I don't know, but that's just my opinion. I think this is a reaction. I think it really is. If this was the way that it was always going to be, then it should have been listed in that presentation. They should have actually you could have lined it out just like this. Hey, listen, we're going to have the bundle. It's going to be $399, but here's a coupon code. It knocks it down. But if that's a little bit too rich for you, don't worry. We're going to sell just this version with that DMD, and it's going to be really cool. But listen, if that's still too much for you, don't worry. We have the original, the regular, the standard version down here for $160. I tend to think this is a reaction. And I think that this is probably one of the best examples of a company listening to the consumer, listening to the community. New Wave Toys has been pretty good about this. So because I think this is a reaction, which it probably is, it's probably a 60-40, right? 60% chance this was a reaction. I think that's a good thing, because that means that they're actually listening to us, the community, and they're trying to offer a cheaper alternative, a cheaper version. And, that's kind of a win-win. We're still very, very early in the pre-order process. But I think the question is really always going to come down to, besides after the sticker shock, and I think we've probably got that solved, right? We got that fixed, right? There's a version for everybody. Once you get past that, you got to go. The question is going to always boil down to this. It's Golden Tee. Is it too new of a title? Is it too mainstream? Because I really like the weird, wonky arcades that they've gone with. They've gone with some very mainstream stuff in the past, but they've also gone with, especially recently, with some weird ones. And it's cool to have those in my collection. It's cool to have those old titles get some kind of attention. Shining a light on an older arcade brings up a lot of conversation about that arcade, that company, that cabinet, all that stuff. So I think at the end of the day, if you don't like Golden Tee, this price point is probably not going to move the needle for you. If you weren't really jazzed about a title that's that new, it doesn't really matter if these things were $100. You're probably not going to buy it, So I think that's probably what's going to go on. If you don't like Golden Tee, you're not going to buy this no matter what the price is. If you were like me and you were waiting for something a little bit cheaper, you're probably pretty happy, pretty surprised. But I think at the end of the day, I just don't think I'm going to go for this. I think the price is good. I think if it is a reaction, that's also a good thing. But for me, when it comes to the real question for me is always going to be, what's the game? And Golden Tee, it's kind of oversaturated the market. And for me, it's just not something I want a little replica of. But that's just my 2 cents. What do you think? Okay, Buy Stuff is messing with us. Buy Stuff, you guys are in the chat. At this point, you're just messing with us. You're toying with our emotions. You're giving us a hard time. And you have to remember, we are all fragile, and it's uncalled for. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact that we'll start off on a positive. They actually hit 10,000 members on their Facebook page. So congratulations to you on that. Now they did backtrack a little bit. They were talking about, hey, when we hit 10K, we're going to reveal the new product. And then they're like, well, I think we should probably wait until it's ready, which I agree with. I agree you should wait and don't set some arbitrary goal or number or whatever. Just wait till it's ready and then reveal it. So congratulations to them. If you're not a member, you should go over there and be a member. They have a giveaway right now going on. Jump over. I don't think it's over yet. It might be. I'm not sure. Get over there. Go on the Facebook page and see how you can enter to win some cool stuff from Buy Stuff. And it basically requires you to have bought some stuff from Buy Stuff and then show off that stuff you bought from Buy Stuff. And then they'll give you gift cards and gift certificates to Buy Stuff where you can, that's right, buy more stuff. So congratulations to them on the 10K. But now the blanket is starting to infuriate me. The tease is just, it's unbearable at this point. Now they have an actual, because see, I thought, and maybe it was, the blanket. I thought it was AI. And maybe it was AI. The picture kind of looked like AI. But then there was another picture of the blanket on the floor. Like, wait a minute, what's going on with the blanket? Now, is this some kind of a code? Is this some kind of a clue? It's orange. It's a blanket. It's on the floor. What kind of arcade floor blanket magic carpet ride? Is it Aladdin? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Well, then they come out with this here, like a couple days ago, and now they're just toying with us, toying with our emotions. Okay, now we have the blanket again, and now we have a cute dog, and they're trying to distract us with the dog. Okay, the dog's cute. What's going on? Do they actually have the product under the blanket now? Is this really now an actual shot of what they're talking about? Because if that's the case, guys, we're talking about something that's bigger than I think we imagined. Okay. I met these guys in Cleveland. These are not short men. Somebody in the comment section of that post said, the Buy Stuff guys are like 6'4". What the hell? So this is going to be pretty tall. And then if you look now, the width is something else to consider. This could be a 16:9 aspect ratio monitor inside here. Because if you look at the squares on the floor, okay, those squares on the floor are likely 12 inches. This thing, if you look on the floor, you're looking at probably maybe 2.5 squares. Okay, so that's 24, plus another half, we're like 30 inches wide. What's going on here? This thing is really wide. This thing is wide. This is tall. What is this? Is it going to be some kind of a multi-cade? Is it going to be similar to something like an At Games? I don't know if it's going to be a dedicated cab. You got us confused. You got us going back and forth. We're freaking out, man, and we just don't know. You're teasing us, and I guess that's the whole point of this. But I'm curious. This does give us a little bit more of a peek into maybe what they're planning, what they're doing. They're known for multicades and bringing lots of different functionality to arcade one-ups. I think that maybe you did too, I'm not sure, but I definitely assumed this was going to be an arcade one-up scale or size product. Something like that. I don't think that that's what we're getting. If this image, this tease, is to be believed, I'm not sure. It could be more smoke and mirrors or blankets and dogs. We don't, whatever analogy you want to use here. But it definitely could be just a ruse. But if this truly is the thing that they got, if they got it, it's under there, and we're looking at it, this is going to be a little bit bigger than we thought, a little bit wider than we thought. This could be something pretty epic if they can get the shape of the cabinet right. I'm telling you right now, that's going to be the killer for me. At Games, their multicade is ugly. I'm sorry, it just is. And I know you're going to say, Fox, stop. There's all these games. They have a hell of an ecosystem. You can BYOB, all that good stuff. I know, I get it. But here's the thing. If you've got a big piece of furniture in your house, in your living room, your game room, your arcade, it's got to look decent, man. Come on. I don't want some ugly thing in here. I mean, all my arcades, I spend a lot of money on them. You spend a lot of money on your arcades. We fuss over every detail, trying to make sure that it looks just right. The shape has got to be right. If Arcade 1Up came up with a different, the same game, but a better shape, we did that. We bought that one, right? Because that was better. That looked good, We fuss over the artwork. I bring these cabinets in here, and before they even come down into the arcade, I go through all of them, changing out hardware to stainless hardware, the wear strips and everything, and replace as much as I can, clean them up, make them look good. Replacement artwork and all that. I can't have something in here if it's all goofy and weird and skinny and like got a round top and god awful side art that has just like random characters thrown on the side. I just don't want that. So it's wide. I think that's good. I think 16 by 9 is fine. If you're talking about a multi-cade, you can do some really cool stuff. Those monitors should be a little bit easier to get. I would have loved if they would have worked with Unico and got a 25-inch 4x3, which is still the case. That could be under there. Who knows? I don't know, but it would be just absolutely awesome if they would do that. But the height is definitely something to consider. I don't know. They're teasing us. And that's probably the point of it. And I get it. I know, but it got me concerned. Because if you're going to go that big, the shape cannot be ugly. So guys, come on. Look at everybody else, what they're doing. Look at Ad Games, okay? And then everybody else over here. And don't do what Ad Games did. Do what they're doing over here. Do something else. Look at arcade accurate representation. Get that shape right. If you're going big, I mean, go a little bit wider. Go 16 by 9. That's fine. But that shape has got to be, it's got to be good. It's got to look like something from the arcades. And minimalistic artwork. If you're not going for a very specific game, if you're going for more of a generic game, then just go with nice, plain, even black sides. That's fine. And then let us add our own artwork if we want to. You know, that'd be the best way to go. This could be this could be a great a la carte option. I think that'll be good. I think the whole community would be better served by something like that. But I'm excited. Okay, it's definitely a little bigger than I thought. So you still got me curious. You're teasing me. The dog is cute. The blanket is curious. You know, I wonder if the blanket is going to be included in the when you buy this. Can I get the blanket separately? Because that would probably be a great dust cover for the thing. I'm just saying. Throw that in there. Maybe. Possibly. Is there one blanket or is there two blankets? Did you buy more? Is that a one-off blanket? Is that a custom blanket? These are all the questions we have to know, but I'm excited about what they're doing. Anybody jumping into the space? We talked about the question. One of the questions somebody asked is, hey, who's going to jump in with a big machine? Who's going to jump in something 3/4 scale? Is Buy Stuff going to be the first one? Is that actually going to be revealed this year? I mean, it's only June. It's very possible. Very possible that could come out this year. Will they be the first? Will they be the only? Hell, will Arcade 1Up even come out with something? I don't know. But I am excited about the possibilities. Could be endless. Could be another ugly multicade, or could be something really fun. I think they've done really good things with Arcade 1-Ups, starting with that base. I think they've got good instincts over there. So overall, I'm very excited. As long as the blanket, if not included, is at least maybe an option. It's a really cool blanket. I like the blanket. What do you guys think of that? Blanket or no blanket? What do you think? What's going on? Talk to me. Tell me. It's so hard. Oh, they're good. Are they going to beat New Wave Toys to the punch? Wow. Paul says, and honestly, we could do without another multicade. We've already had dozens of those over the years. That's a calculated risk, isn't it? If you go multicade, you're trying to cater to a lot of people, try to give everybody what they want kind of by having a multicade, right? Pack a whole bunch of features in it. But if you go with a dedicated cabinet, well, which cabinet are you going with? And then it's like, well, what do they do? Do they do Pac-Man and everybody loses their mind and heads explode? I don't know. It's a calculated, it's a risk no matter, Paul, where they go. Wait, Kevin, hold on now. Wait, don't blow my mind. The blanket is real, but the dog is fake? Come on. Well, okay. I guess, I mean, I'd be okay with that. Bleffman says, gotta be wide like that because it has a wide screen. Yeah, I think I'm with you, man. I'm thinking that's probably the way they're going to go. Or they could maybe have a Unico 26-inch, the F4x3. But I guess it depends on what they're trying to do with this. Is it just going to be old games, retro games from back in the day? Or are they going to try to cater to everybody? And the 16x9 would probably be the better way to go for sure. That's just my 2 cents. Alien Bit Stop. I know. They would be printing money if they did that. Retro Arcade Trooper. I know. But sadly, AVP is just going to be elusive. It's going to be something I'll probably never get my hands on. But one thing I'm going to grab, I'm going to reach out and grab it. Hold on tight. Is this super chat of $1.99? Thank you so much, Galaxy Guy 88, for your $1.99 super chat, buddy. Has there been a multicade that is has there been a multicade that isn't ugly? Some of these questions, may never be answered.
Let's go.
The dispenser of wise advice and knowledge is the P-dubs, the snow dubs, the man, the myth, the legend, sneaking up in the chat. Smash the like button. It's the right thing to do. Not P-dubs, snow dubs. My bad, snow. Informa, sorry. Talking about snow. The one called Snow. MVSX looked good, and with a high-low hack on it, it's a great multicade now. It is an epic multicade for sure. Just a little too small. They need to do a 26-inch version of that. But let's move on to something a little more confusing. We'll go with that. A little more clueless. I think on my notes here I have what? Yeah, that's what I have. Let's go ahead and talk about Arcade 1Up. While everybody else is trying to come out with something new and different and crazy and pushing the envelope and going a little bit farther, pushing, new wave toys, really pushing to the edge of what they've done and really tipping it once again, sticking their toe in the pond of the bigger thing. We have Evercade, little bitty Evercade, making the little hyper pockets and making all these cool little cartridges. Finally coming out with something a little bit bigger, something that has a bigger screen than that little, the EXP. We got Arcade 1Up, kind of the big dog, right? In the house. What are they going to do? All this stuff is coming out. What are they going to do? You got Evercade over there knocking on the doors of their space. This is their turf. The counter K's, baby. That's where I grew up. That's where I come from. What are they doing? Well, they offer a contest. For all you DIYers out there, all you modders out there, of which I am one, of which many of you in this chat are modders. You have taken your Arcade 1Ups and done great things with them, elevating them, taking them above and beyond with the help of Buy Stuff, with the help of many, many, many different people out there putting together different artwork packages. And then they come out with something like this, talking about reaching out to the DIY community, thinking they're maybe, okay, well, this could be really cool, right? No, it's not. Decorators, gamers, DIYers, world collide. Are you game? Are we game for what? What are they talking about? What's up with this? Well, it's time to hack your Arcade 1Up arcades. Hack them? Sweet. We got some experience doing that. What do you want us to hack them into? You want us to hack them into DIY furniture pieces. DIY furniture pieces, kids. Like this shining example of the lady with the ottoman I love how she just took her Infinity Game table and put it in there and just covered it up. Ain't nobody want to see this. Let's just cover, for God's sakes, don't show anybody what we got. Hide it in this basket and push it out of the way. So they want you to take and use your imagination and turn your Arcade 1Up product into a piece of furniture. Which I noted in the video that I did, I did a short video talking about this briefly. Guess what, guys? I don't know if you're aware, cabinets and tables are already furniture. An arcade cabinet is furniture. An Infinity Game table is furniture. I'm going to take my table and turn it into a table? I'm gonna take this cabinet and turn it into a I was at a total loss for words. This is so ridiculous and stupid. Instead of coming out with something in response, and man, listen, we just found out about Evercade Alpha. Maybe something will happen next week, but for right now, this is what we see. No new product, no new release, not even a reskin of something you've already done before. Where's the NFL Blitz Deluxe? Where is the TMNT Deluxe? We don't see any of this stuff. And even that would be maybe tired and old and passe. Nobody would care. But it's better than this garbage right here. This absolute stupid. It's the words. I'm trying to censor myself because this is just empty-headed and moronic and foolish and out of touch and clueless and infantile. Is that enough adjectives for you? But don't worry. They want you to listen. You can't just half-ass it, guys. You got to bring your A game and let your creativity shine. Don't miss out on the fun and epic prizes. Get hacking and winning. Like this guy with a drill running a screw into a piece of wood on the floor. Even the dog knows this is stupid. Look at the dog. Dog's like, why are you doing that? Why? The cabinet is right behind you. What are you? He's just screwing a piece of wood to the floor. I don't know what that means. This is really sad. But now, what are you going to win? What are the prizes? Okay, so here's what you do. Here's just so you know, right? In case you're excited about the opportunity to take a piece of furniture and turn it into a piece of furniture, here's what you do. Hack your Arcade 1Up arcade by integrating it into a DIY furniture piece. What do you win? 2 winners will each receive, I guess this the 2 winners, right? So just two prizes, and that's it. So you're gonna receive a deluxe Arcade 1Up machine, so that you don't even know which one you're gonna get stuck with, probably Pac-Man, or an infinity game board, which if you don't have one, that's not a bad prize, right? Both valued about $500. Okay. Here's what you do. Hack your Arcade 1Up setup with your unique twist. Snap a picture or video of your masterpiece. Share it on social media with the hashtag A1Up Hack Challenge and tag at Arcade 1Up Official. There you go. More details. Awesome. So I thought that, well, I could just get mad about this, which I am. I could just be disappointed in Arcade 1Up, which I am. Or I could maybe take this time to really refine my smart-ass tendencies. So I decided to enter, and I like to share with you my entries that I have shared on Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter. If you follow me on these platforms, you probably already had these, and you've taken these entries in, and you've thought these things over, and you've really considered them. So let's take a look at them together, shall we? So here are my entries into the Arcade 1Up DIY Furniture Hack Challenge. Here you go. The first one I like to call X-Ottoman. You can see this is an ottoman. I've taken the riser from my X-Men cabinet and placed a pillow on it. And you can see the beautiful matching chair behind it. So there we are. This is the X-Ottoman. This is my first entry. Let me know about this. What do you think about this in the chat? If you're watching the replay, the comments section. Is this something appealing to you? I will say that it's a little tall. So maybe if you want to do this, maybe use a different riser, not quite as tall as the X-Men riser. But yes, there is X-Ottoman. My second entry was something I gave a lot of thought to. This is the Pack Rack. This is basically Pac-Man as a coat rack. So I have coats on either side. Great thing about this is you can still play the arcade. Just kind of move the sleeves out of the way left and right. So we have the X-Ottoman, and then we have the Pack Rack. And then finally, let's go ahead and finish up with my third and final entry, and it is the Marvelous doorstop. I thought this was a really good use of this product, considering what Evercade just came out with. Finally, the intended purpose of this countercade has been realized. There you are. So my 3 entries. Don't let me be the only goofball out here taking advantage of this opportunity. You need to go let this shine. Take a lampshade and just put it on an Arcade 1Up. Take a blanket and throw it on an Arcade 1Up. Take your Arcade 1Up and lay it down on its side and sit on it. Now it's couch. These are the things you should be doing. So let's take this opportunity to really show Arcade 1Up what we think about this very ingenious, inspiring challenge. What do you think about that, guys? Come on. Arcade game over, perhaps. It's possible. Maybe. What do you think about it? I want to know, what are your entries? What shall they be? Hack the Gibson? The dog is thinking, my Betty Archie got a gig sitting in front of an ugly blanket, and my agents lands me this. Well, there you go. The other guy is sitting in front of a blanket, and you're looking at a guy drilling a piece of, just running a screw into a piece of wood. Of course. Ridge Racer butt plug with haptic feedback is going to go crazy. Well, even that probably has an intended audience, right? Formula Fox, Arcade 1Up is clearly just trying to bring in people's minds while they do whatever. I think we'll see something of substance from them in Q1 2025. No guarantee it'll be anything good, though. Well, that's mildly positive for sure. Trash can for the Infinity Game Table is genius. Absolutely. Finally, its intended purpose has been realized. I'm excited for everybody to take the time to go ahead and jump in with both feet and check it out. Take advantage, soak it in, breathe in the flavor, the rejuvenating powers of not only this ridiculous challenge, but this $2 super chat from Kevin Clausen. Thank you so much for your $2 super chat, buddy. Turn burger time into an outdoor grill. Finally. Yes. Set that son of a gun ablaze. Not a flaze, ablaze. Thank you so much for your $2 super chat, buddy. Got to give you something a little bit. Watch out. This guy means business.
Can't you do any better?
All great ideas. I mean, listen, I knew I was not going to be the only one that had just these phenomenal ideas. It's the way it's going to be. Yeah, yes, the pack rack. That's right. It is there. Just listen, this stuff writes itself. Absolutely smash the like button, peeps. It's the right thing to do. Faux show. Faux show. And there, and there I go again. Hello, wonderful gamers. Thumper Squid, how the hell are you, man? Great to see you. You are just smack dab in the middle of a interesting conversation. Give myself a little bit of credit there. Put a control panel on the top of the tank and create a toilet cage. Finally, that's a great idea. But you may have to. Would you have to sit on the toilet backwards? I'm not saying I'm against it. It just might take some getting used to. I'm just saying. I see James submitting some entertaining AI submissions. Oh, the AI will be working overtime. I am absolutely sure that'll be really, really fun. Yes, hashtag fair and balanced. Moving right along to something a little more constructive and something a little more, I don't know, this has a little bit more meaning than I think we originally thought. So I did a video on this, or about talked about it maybe to death at this point. This is a brand new entry into the countercade space. And this is the Evercade Alpha. We finally got them. They revealed it. The questions were answered. I think pretty much all of our questions have been answered about this for the most part. I don't know if there's anything left unsaid about this other than what this means for Arcade 1Up. This is kind of this is a little bit weird when you sit back and kind of think about what's going on here. So we'll talk about this a little bit more detail. But what does this really mean? Something like this. So in case you don't know, this is exactly the same size as an Arcade 1Up. This is 16.4 inches. I measured one of my the Marvelous doorstop. It comes in at about 16.1, 16.2, just a little bit over 16 inches. So this is slightly taller than those third generation countercades. So almost exactly the same size. 8-inch monitor, probably going to be very similar in quality. It's going to be IPS. The controls are competition, unless you get the deluxe. That's going to be Sanwa. But yeah, this is very, very, very extremely eerily similar to what we've seen with from Arcade 1Up. And so it begs the question, what does this mean for Arcade 1Up basically just being punked by Evercade? I'm not trying to diminish Evercade in any way, shape, or form, but they're not a big player on the handheld market or the hardware market outside of their handheld and their One Versus console. This is their first foray into this kind of space. And to just immediately, right off the bat, just thumb their nose at Arcade 1Up, it's kind of crazy. And the fact that they were able to get Street Fighter Alpha, what does it say about Capcom's relationship with Arcade 1Up? It seems like it's a giant throbbing middle finger from Capcom to Arcade 1Up. If you're really thinking about it. Now, on the surface, you would think that Arcade 1Up and Capcom have a pretty good relationship. Hell, they just released this collab cab with Disney's X-Men 97 and their Capcom games, and there's Capcom branding on the cabinet. But it sure does seem a little odd to have this just so prominently shoved in their face. I mean, to be this bold about it says a lot. I think it says there's a lot going on, I think, behind the scenes. So what are we talking about? We're talking about two Capcom branded Big Blue inspired countercades, basically 8-inch monitors and all that. I think these look really good. I mean, if you like the form factor, and that's the thing, a lot of people aren't really into the countercades. I know I am I'm kind of a fan. I think this is only like the second of the two form factors that I really like. I like the 3/4 scale, the uprights, XLs and 3/4. The uprights is definitely the number one for me, but the number two has always been the countercades. I dig them. I think they're cool. I think they're a good compromise. It's not full blown bar top, but it sits on your desk or your counter pretty nice. So I've always liked these, and this has hit me exactly where I live. Right, this is what I like. This is what I want. The games are going to be included on these. You're going to have a Street Fighter. So let's start with the Mega Man real quick. You're going to have Final Fight. You're going to have Carrier Air Wing. You're going to have Mega Man 1 and 2. You're going to have Strider, and you're going to have Knights of the Round. So pretty good collection there. Got some decent stuff. Street Fighter is always something that's like can be kind of problematic because usually anything branded Street Fighter is all Street Fighter, and it's usually like 6 different versions of Street Fighter 2. That's really pretty much all you have. This is not the case. So Super Puzzle Fighter 2 is on here, a game that I dig. I like it. It's a cool puzzle game. I mean, me and my wife would play the HD remake on my PlayStation 3 all the time. So it's fun. I like it. I think it's a really fun game. And then you got Street Fighter 2, of course. You got a couple of them on there, Turbo and I think Championship Edition. But then you have the entire Street Fighter Alpha series on this freaking countercade. What? No way. So the sprites from like the Alpha series made their way into the versus games. So you got Marvel versus Capcom, 1 and 2, and then you had X-Men versus Street Fighter and all that. Those sprites, the art style made its way they all lived in the same time frame. So that's why they look very similar to the Alpha series, right? And so it was never a question of could Arcade 1-Up run those games. Of course they could run those games. It's not a problem. It's not like something that is so super advanced. They could obviously run those same hardware generation, but they never did it. Now the interview that I think it was Sean from Evercade gave with Super Game Room Dudes, when they asked him how did you get these games, he said we just asked the questions. That's all you did. You just asked the question. Now if you buy that, I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona to sell you. Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't think that the relationship between Capcom and Arcade 1-Up is all that great. For whatever reason. I don't know why. You would think it would be good because I'm sure they're selling a lot of stuff that's Capcom branded. Capcom games are getting out there. Capcom branding is getting out there for sure. But I don't think it's a really good working relationship. Could it be that John D left? Let's just call a spade a spade. It is what it is. John D had a very close working relationship with them. I don't think John D left because he just wanted to. I think it was contentious. Whether it was a firing or whatever, he resigned. Whatever, I don't think it was. They left under good terms. So I can imagine that if that relationship still is intact, which I'm sure it is, as far as John D and Capcom, I can imagine that would go over well, especially when you consider the children that are now left running the asylum over at Arcade 1-Up. So it's just interesting that they got. This is the first time we've seen the Alpha games on any kind of home arcade device. Period. So this is significant. This is significant. So what are you looking at price wise? Well, let me kill that. Remove that. Let me go over here. Let's get that slide there. Okay. So what are you looking at? This is what you're looking at. So this is $199. I think it's euro. I think it's 229 euro. The pre-order is, I think, it's $229 US for us over here in the stateside. You're looking at the Evercades. You're looking at when you buy this at that price, you're going to get 3 swappable marquees. So on the left-hand side, you're going to get Mega Man. You're going to get Strider and Final Fight, which, that's cool and all, but it's going to be odd having a Strider marquee on a Mega Man branded cabinet. I think if the artwork was a little more generic, you could definitely do that. So while it's a nice inclusion, it doesn't really fit the bill. If the rest of the cabinet was just like black or blue, solid color, and maybe just had Capcom on it, the marquee swapping out would make a little more sense, but it's going to make a little less sense when you have, it's worse on the Mega Man. If you look at the side, see, where is it at? Yeah, right here. If you look at it on the side there, Mega Man, there's a whole bunch of Mega Man artwork on the side. It's not as, in your face on the Street Fighter version, but yeah, there's a lot going on. So swapping in a Strider marquee is going to be kind of, whatever. It is what it is. Why did I lose that again? My slide just went away. Come back, slide. Come back to me. Here you go. Okay. Kill that. Let me kill this. Sorry. And come back to me, slide. There we go. Okay. So, but it's cool to have. It's a nice inclusion. You're going to have your USB-C cable, and over on the, I guess it's a little bit better on the Street Fighter version, but still you got Alpha, you got an Alpha marquee, but still everything else is clearly Street Fighter 2. So it is what it is. But I think that's a decent price point. $229 in the States is going to be a decent price point when you consider, I think, what you're getting Now you're getting Wi-Fi, but you're not getting online play. You are getting Wi-Fi for updates for all the cartridges that they have out there, which there's over 50 cartridges, so you can swap any of these in, and you can plug those in. So that's added. You can add games that way. But even if you just look at the included games and the fact that it's got a headphone jack, but so did those 2-player countercades. What Arcade 1Up could never get right was the USB controller. They never really got a proper USB controller out there that you could map correctly and you could just plug in and play. And they also gave you a USB breakout for that extra controller on a 2-player countercade, which I never understood. That never made any sense to me. They should have done that on the single player. Here, you're going to get that. You're going to get not only one, but 2 different controller ports. So in case you want to play 2 players and, one guy can't be on the actual device and covering up the whole screen, you can still break that out. Is that going to happen a lot? I don't know, maybe, but at least it's an option that supposedly is going to work, and you're going to have a dedicated controller for that. So you won't have to have there won't be any guessing game about like what's going to work and what's not. I think it's missing an HDMI out. I think that's really where this thing is kind of falls on its face just a little bit, is having that HDMI out. That's really where, if you're going to want to play this 2-player, you're going to want to play this on a screen, on a big TV. I think there was probably some licensing agreements is why they couldn't do that. I mean, keeping costs down, how much more would it be to have an HDMI out on this? It would have just made sense, but maybe, I don't know. Capcom is a little bit weird. You notice they had their EXP, their handheld. You didn't get a Capcom cartridge. It was actually pre-installed on the actual device itself. So you couldn't take that cartridge and move it around and use it in different places. And that was just a restriction on their license, and that's fine. Maybe this is the same sort of thing. It's on the device. It's only on the device. It's not a cartridge. Maybe they're worried about piracy. Maybe somebody can take these Evercade cartridges and steal the games. I don't know. I don't know if it's possible. Maybe it is. So I think that's probably what it is. So you've got the standard versions. You've also got these deluxe versions coming out. Now, from what I understand, the company that this is on there, I think it's Funko Store or something. I can't remember the name of the UK company, the UK retailer is going to be carrying these. They're going to be carrying the deluxe versions, from what I understand, the deluxe editions, and they are going to honor anybody who purchases these in the U.S. You're going to be able to get your hands on these, because the way I read this on their Facebook posting, this was only going to be available in the UK, which is very disappointing. Really wanted to be able to maybe have this option available for other people, because you're going to get a poster, you're going to get 6 swappable marquees. Like I said before, the marquees aren't that big of a deal to me, but I guess it would be kind of cool to have them. But that included controller was pretty nice. And the price, I believe, if you look at the, I think this is $289, 289 euros. So that should be about $290 US, basically. $300 is a bit much. I don't, it's nice to have that included controller, but I don't, like I said, I'm not really big on the marquees. It's fine. It's a thing, but I'm not really crazy about that. The poster, I don't really care. I mean, it's kind of a cool thing, but I'm not really digging that. I don't think it's really worth the extra money just to get that extra stuff. So I think I'm going to get one of these, and I'm going to go with just the Street Fighter version. I think I'm going to stick with that. I do have Evercades. I don't have a controller, so I'm probably going to have to maybe get one of those controllers. I don't know if you can buy is that branded Alpha? Yeah, it's Alpha branded. So I'd like to get that if I can buy that separately. I got to check. We've got some time. These things don't come out till November, so we'll see what's going to go on. Now, one of the retailers that I use, well, the only retailer I use for is, oh, come on. Don't tell me I didn't do my slide. Maybe I didn't do my slide. Well, we'll get to that part in just a second. Let's go over this real quick. So I was talking about Arcade 1Up's response and what they should have done and where they're at and all that. So the trajectory of the Arcade 1Up countercades was kind of going like this. You had the first and second gen, the third gen, you had the 2-player and all that, and they packed a bunch of features into that. Well, then they peaked there, and they just it was a sharp drop, and they just came down to, like, they went back to their single player form factor, which is fine. I don't think it's a big problem. It is what it is, right? Single player is probably better. I would have preferred a single player with USB breakout for a second controller, just in case somebody wanted to play the second player. But they didn't include that on this version. The Turtles, the one I'm showing you right now for $199. There was no USB breakout. We lost the lit marquee, and you just had the 2 included games, no Wi-Fi, nothing. So it was definitely a step back, a downgrade. Here we have Evercade coming out with something about $30 more. And you're getting a bunch where you're going to get more games. Obviously, you're going to have 6 games versus the other games would have like 4. I think was the maximum you'd ever see on any of these 4 games. The Turtles only had 2. You're going to get the Lit Marquee. You're going to get the 6 games. You're also going to have the ability to plug in controllers to play 2-player action that will actually work, right? That's better than what A1Up gave us. And you're going to have their entire library of cartridges. A lot of those are actual arcade games. And then I think that's pretty cool. I think that's there's a lot added there. Now, is that going to be enough to push the needle for you? One thing I will say is that A1Up, when they went back to this stripped down single player version of their countercades, they had a Street Fighter 2 version that came out, but it didn't come out in the States. It was only available in like the UK and Italy and Europe, never came over here. I tried to find one. I looked into maybe getting one and, importing it, but it was going to be like over $300. I'm just not going to do that. That was just crazy, especially when you consider that only had Street Fighter 2 games on it. I think there were 4 Street Fighter 2 games, all Street Fighter 2, just different versions, nothing else on there. At least with this Street Fighter, you're getting some variety. Even if you don't have any arcade, if there's no Evercade carts, if you just want to play the games that are included, you got 6 games. That's better than what you got with the A1Up. And then you have stereo speakers instead of the mono speaker. And they're going to have a deluxe version available. If you want to go for the deluxe, there you go. There is an option. Another thing to consider is this is going to have Sanwa controls built in. So you're going to have Sanwa buttons and a Sanwa stick. So that is definitely something to consider when you're talking about justifying that price tag. But it is what it is. Now, what I wanted to say, I guess I don't have a slide, but video game. So where's it at? I didn't make that, did I? I'll just read it to you real quick. I will read it to you. This is coming to us from Video Games Plus. Where is it at? Here you go, customer service. So I'm sorry, I meant to get a slide together for you, but I forgot. So I reached out to Video Games Plus. They're up in Canada. I buy the majority, when I pre-ordered my EXP-R and some of my other games, like the Duke Nukem games, I pre-ordered those. I went to, I think it's VGP.com, Video Games Plus. They're up in Canada, but they sell to us lowly Americans. I reached out to them. I said, hey, are you going to make available the Evercade Alpha? And what they said was, hello, thank you for reaching out. This will be available for pre-order on our website soon. Thank you and have a great day. This was today, 9 a.m. I got that reply. So Video Games Plus is going to carry that. So that is a North American seller that will absolutely get you. I've dealt with them several times and I've never had an issue whatsoever. So that's going to be an option for you. So check out that website. I'm going to check it out probably tomorrow. They're supposed to go live. Pre-order is supposed to go live Tuesday. So I'll check it tomorrow. I'll check it Tuesday. And as soon as it goes up, I'll post a picture and I'll post a link. If you want to check it out, if you're interested, if you're curious. How curious are you? Well, that remains to be seen. If the countercade segment is dead, A1Up kind of introduced it and killed it all at the same time. And it's really pretty sad. Kind of gets you down in the dumps. Kind of makes you want to cry. But one thing that cheers me up is a super chat. That's always a good thing. That's the way it just wakes me up, gets me, dries up those tears immediately. This one comes to us from Bob 199. Thank you for your $2 super chat, buddy. Think I'm gonna need this Street Fighter Alpha. I see what you did there. You did Alpha. Thank you so much for your super chat, buddy. I appreciate it. And here you go. So yeah, who cares? Who cares? It's not a 3/4 scale cabinet, so maybe some people don't care. Some people were waiting for something bigger and better, and maybe this they don't even care about this. For those of us that like the countercades, and I do, I still have 3 of them. I have 2 that are stock. I have one that's completely custom. It's a Street Fighter 3, it's a Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I like the form factor. I have less countertop space in the new arcades, a little bit smaller. So I have less space. So if I'm going to have a countercade, it has to have more features. It has to have more options. And, this is looking like, something that's going to justify the purchase. I think you're going to get more life out of it, even if you play the included 6 games to death. The fact that you can expand that library, you can play some of these classic arcade games on a very small size, but still an arcade similar experience, I think is a step in the right direction. I think I'm definitely hoping, I'm curious, I got my fingers crossed that we'll see something 3/4 scale. That would be really, really nice. But I don't know. For now, is this enough to kind of whet your appetite and keep you interested? I hope so. I hope that they sell a ton of them, because then maybe, just maybe, and I know we said this about Arcade 1Up for years, but maybe, just maybe, this will lead into something different. This will lead into something a little bit more, a little bit larger. Maybe give us exactly what we want. Maybe give us something that Arcade 1Up couldn't. And just from this games list right here, you can see that they're already doing that. They're giving us something that Arcade 1Up just couldn't give us in the Alpha series. So while some relationships may die and fry and go away, there's going to be there's still this desire. The home arcade hobby doesn't die because one company is giving up and losing their mind and being stupid. This is proof's in the pudding, right? Well, this is proof that some other company is going to come in and take advantage of those relationships, of those licenses that are out there, because companies still want to license their products. Just they'll license them forever. It just takes somebody with enough, foresight that's going to listen to the community and take advantage of those licenses and put it in a package that we actually want to purchase. We want to play. We want to enjoy. Are they going to listen? Are they going to be like New Wave Toys and maybe fire and adjust immediately to try to make sure that they cater to the community? I hope so. I hope they're listening. I hope this thing sells well. And if not, I hope that they can course correct. But I hope they don't just give up completely, because listen, the home arcade space is fun. But we crave new stuff, just like the rest, like regular console gamers do. We just do. And so I hope that this continues. I hope that this builds enough momentum to where they can be inspired to continue to push, and maybe go out and find more relationships, find out more licenses, and bring new stuff, new games to us, because that's what this is all about. This is also about super chats. This is $1.99. This one comes to me from Brennan Doherty. Thank you so much for your $1.99 super chat, buddy. Really appreciate it. Hey, man, hope you're doing well, and may God bless you. Thank you so much for your super chat. May God bless you as well, sir. But you better watch out. You might want to get a sweater. It's about to get a little bit chilly.
Finish him. Sub-Zero wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
I wasn't satisfied. It doesn't have HDMI out. Sean's answer was, we have another product with HDMI out. It's not satisfactory. Evercade company. Calvin, I think you hit on a very good point. And this is something I thought about too. Why would they have an HDMI out on this if they have a Versus console, right? They already have something, a set-top box that has HDMI out that is designed for 2 players. If they did that, would that cannibalize from that system? I don't think so. I don't know. I guess it's possible, right? Would you buy that and then say, well, that's going to do everything the Versus does, so why wouldn't I just buy that and that's it? But if you're going to buy this, if you're going to buy Street Fighter or Mega Man, are you also going to buy the Versus? I don't know. But I think you're onto something. That could have been the key component. Maybe he didn't want to say it, but that could have been the absolute key component. And that could be the number one reason why they didn't put HDMI out on this, because they already have a console that basically is this console. 2 cartridge slots, 2 controller ports, HDMI out. If they didn't do that, if they had it on there, would that cannibalize sales from that? Possibly. But I don't see how that would really have hurt sales of that product overall. I don't see anybody that's going to buy this it was like that. Well, this is all that I want, or they're going to buy this and then also buy the Versus, because you're talking about a big price tag now. Now you're talking about what, $400 by the time it's all said and done, $500. I just don't think that's going to happen. I think somebody's going to buy either this or that, and the HDMI out is just going to be a trade-off, I guess. But I think that if they would have had the HDMI out, that would have been the better way to go. That would have been probably the perfect console. And that's just my 2 cents. But you're probably 100% right. That's why they didn't go for it, because at the end of the day, it's all about making money, selling products, and they want to put something out that's going to diminish the sales of something else. Oh. Oh, would you look at that?
What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Yes, of course, it is that time. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Members only. All my members, all my channel members, you stay right here because you're going to be redirected to the after show, the after party, where we're going to talk about more of this stuff in detail, some more opinions, some more thoughts I have. I want to give you a little bit more insight into my project that I just brought home today. We're going to have another drink and talk about whatever you want to talk about. If you want to become a member, just reach on down there. If you're watching me on laptop, on PC, on Mac, there should be a join button. You can click that join button. It's only $5 a month, and you can have access to every after show every week forever. Anyway, so before we go, we got to talk about that poll question. Let's jump up there and read the poll question once more. What is the poll question? It was simply this. I asked you this at the beginning of the show. Which Evercade Alpha will you pre-order? You had 4 options. Street Fighter, Mega Man, you're interested, but you're waiting, or not interested. I'm going to go ahead and end the poll right now. 151 votes. Thank you, everybody who voted in the poll. And let's go ahead and I guess we'll start with last place. Wait for the results to come up. Where are they? Hello? Hello? Poll question. There we go. Okay, so coming in dead last is Mega Man. Sorry, Mega Man fans, but Mega Man, 8%. You're going to order Mega Man. You're going to pre-order Mega Man. Coming in at 11%. In third place is Street Fighter. So not many of you are actually going to pre-order this thing. That's only 20%, 19%. So who's going to win? What's going to take the total? What's going to be the majority of the opinion of everybody in this chat? Are you interested but waiting? Are you not interested? Well, with 54%, guess what, kids? You're not interested. 54% of you are not interested. That doesn't bode well for Evercade if they're trying to bring something different to the market. They want to have something that I think at least is interesting to someone, interesting to the community that they're trying to serve. If over half of you aren't even interested in this, it doesn't really bode well for Evercade. I hope this wasn't a miscalculation on their part. Hopefully they can make enough sales to break even, make a little bit of a profit, and maybe take a little bit more calculated risk next time. Maybe make an EXP with a bigger screen or something else, or maybe, dare I say, try to jump into that 3/4 scale market. I think everybody is salivating for that. I think everybody's waiting for that. I know I am, and I know you probably are too. Everybody, thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me, talking about this great hobby that we enjoy. Stay tuned to the channel. I got my arcade road trip coming up. I'm going to post that probably Tuesday. Got some other videos I'm excited to talk to you about. Going to Hawaii next week. So unfortunately, that means that next weekend I will not have a show. I'm going there for work. Going to be stuck there. I think the internet's going to be maybe even non-existent. So let's see how that works out. But there will be no show next week. Sorry about that. But the following week, we'll be right back here. I hope you'll come back and join me. And I will see all of you right back here week after next time. Peace.